Hey everyone, and welcome to Ravens After Dark.
We're Rodney and Stacy, the faces behind the Knotted Ravens.
When the shop closes, the books are put away, and the day's winding down, this is where the real conversations happen.
We talk about witchy shit, books we can't stop thinking about, games, running a small business, and whatever random tangent decides to join us.
So, whether you're practicing magic, rolling dice, curled up with a good book, or just looking for people to hang out with for a little while, you're in the right place. So grab your favorite drink,
Pull up a chair,
and let's get into it. Hey everybody, and welcome back to episode 2.
How's everybody doing?
Well, you survived our bathroom remodel.
Just barely.
It was pretty brutal.
Yes.
What else have we been doing since our last episode?
Working?
Yeah, lots of working. Our youngest daughter had a birthday, so other than that, which was kind of an eventful day, we had really bad storms all day.
Rain, rain, rain.
That's all it's been. So that's basically what we've been doing. Lots of work. So tonight, I guess we are talking about some of the journeys that have shaped us into who we are as humans, I guess.
We're humans? Some of us are
One of us is. It's
Yeah,
not me.
Take a guess of which one's human.
I am not the human. I will gladly admit it. I don't care.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right. You guys, you want to go back and forth, ask questions, so it's not just one person the whole time?
Yeah, we can.
All right. I guess we're rolling. Who goes first? I got a 3. Oh, well, then I guess you get to ask the first question.
Okay, can you tell us about how you found your magical path?
Gosh. That's like a really deep, detailed thing. So I'll try to make it short and sweet. But um, so I grew up exploring a bunch of religions, and I went to church with my grandparents a lot. Well, not my grandparents, I can't say that. My grandma. Um, did that whole thing. A lot of things didn't make sense, and I started exploring other ways. And this was before the internet. So I lived at the library. And back then, the only books you could really get on anything was Wiccan books. So, um, but before that, I guess, I mean, I spent a whole year Jewish or studying Jewish stuff, which is, I mean, that was back when you would call a 1-800 number and they would send you like all the pamphlets and the books in the mail. My mom used to get so pissed. So, that was back then. And then I guess it just kind of, I don't know, grew. I can remember, I don't know, if I talk too much about it, I'll probably get emotional, and I don't want to do that. But finding my actual magical path, I was probably 14, 15, and I had started to dabble with Wiccan books because, like I said, this was pre-internet, pre-Google, pre-anything like that. And I lived at the library and I took a bunch of Wiccan books home, and some of it made sense, some of it I was still meh about. And I remember sitting there's a hill at my grandparents' property, not my mom's property too, but there's a hill out there, and I remember sitting there and I had a really shit day. My parents were a lot back then, and I was talking to whatever was listening. At that point, I was doing um, like summer camp or Christian summer camp with my grandma. So, um, what I perceived as God, I guess, is what I was talking to. And I remember sitting there with my head down on my knees, and I hear this crow, and I look up, and literally as fast as I could blink, I seen a lady at the bottom of the hill, and I got cold chills, and I'm gonna cry. And I blinked, and she was gone, and I like thought I was seeing things, so I like looked around, seeing who was around, and kind of was freaked out. I'm in the woods basically, and I hear the crow again, and sure enough, where that lady I seen standing, a crow took off out of there, And now looking back at my path and where it's led me now, I'm pretty sure that was my first experience with the Morrigan. So after that, it was all paganism and witchcraft. So that's kind of where my path began. So, and if I talk too much about it, I'm going to cry. So I'm not going to do that. All right. So Rodney, um, was you always a reader?
I started about probably third, fourth grade at two. Well, one was in third, one was in fourth. I had a teacher, I can't remember her name, but she used to like read us whole books. And I remember two books that she read was Charlotte's Web and Where the Red Fern Grows. And just the way she read them was made you want to read. And she was, it was funny 'cause she was crying uncontrollably through both of these books. And I was like, man, this woman, what the heck is she crying about? It's a good story. And then I had a librarian in fourth grade who did the same things, and he used to read us those choose your own adventure books. So that kind of got me. That's kind of where I got my interest in reading from, was from those two, just listening to them read the stories and wanting to experience the stories myself. So I just started reading, and that's pretty much how I got there.
So you've been a reader since like third, fourth grade?
Something like that, on and off, yes. Okay, so it's your turn. What drew you to herbalism, and when did that start?
So that started when it was probably after all the kids were born, really. I mean, so within the last 10 to 15 years. Um I had always been interested. Like I'd hear stories about plants, and my grandpa was really in the woods all the time. So he used to tell me about plants, and I can still remember some of the ones he would tell us about. But I had always had a curiosity about learning what they could do for you because I am not a modern medicine person. And I knew that they're here for a reason. So it always drove me to that. So.
Okay, so what's some of the plants that or plant that fascinates you?
I have a really big obsession with poisonous plants, and it's because when you look at where poisonous plants grow, there's always an antidote usually that's growing near it. And I think it's crazy how nature provides literally what you need near something that is poisonous. So,
Okay, so where's the antidote for the belladonna growing outside our house? Just in case you poison me.
I guess belladonna would be my favorite, like technically poisonous plant, but it's one of those things too that you know, it can also be a medicine. Like some of those plants that are deemed poisonous can be used for medicinal purposes. It's all about dosage and knowing what the hell you're doing and not just. So
It's a
belladonna.
plant, let me eat it.
Yeah. Oh, this looks pretty. So, I guess that's kind of where my fascination with herbalism came from is pretty much my grandpa. And belladonna will always be my favorite.
So if I die, somebody test me for belladonna.
Yeah, I do have a lot of it growing
A
outside.
lot.
It's taking over my rose bush outside. All right, so is there any certain books or authors that has stuck with you since, third,
Books and
fourth grade?
authors.
Books or authors?
Wouldn't say there was any one in particular per se, but Tolkien. When I read Lord of the Rings are really, really great books, but man,
Very detailed.
was he, by the time you got done reading a paragraph, you knew, or you'd know what the tree it looked like because it was 3 pages worth of the description. So you was like,
There's
ah.
other authors that have taken that from Tolkien. So
And probably Salvatore and stuff like that. Those two are probably, and then Stephen King. I read earlier stuff, not so much any of the newer stuff, but
So would you say you're more of a fantasy reader?
uh,
Is that your preferred genre?
more or less, but not really. I'll read. If it's good, I'll read it.
It's good you'll read it.
If I make it past 5 chapters and it's good, I keep going.
So you're saying the ritual was good because I made you
I
read it.
read that because you made me read it.
So Akatar was good.
I also read that
We s-
because you made me
we
read it.
still have two more. So I need you to read the second one to both of those series because both the second books in those series are my favorite. You have promised. So get on it, chop chop.
Okay. So um, what folklore and how has that shaped your journey?
Folklore. I've
Yeah,
always
what
grew
folklore?
up. Oh, well, I've always grew up hearing folklores. So my grandma was a huge is a huge storyteller, and she would make up stories, and then we later found out that she was like making up stuff based on folklore. So, and then my aunt who when I grew up, I stayed a lot of the times at my grandparents' house, and my aunt also lived there. So when I was younger, I thought of her more as like a big sister and less of an aunt because I can remember her going to prom and stuff like when I was a kid. But she had a fascination with like foreign music. So she would be listening to a band and then she'd be like, so this person's from, say, like Germany. And then she would get into folklore about it. And I guess that's really where I started to love the stories that has like that come with folklore. And it's not just one specific, it's all of it. I love anything to do with folklore.
Okay, so what's your favorite folklore story?
Oh God, probably Krampus
Krampus.
and the Yule Cat. I love those winter and Gryla. Like those are my favorite stories. Is those winter ones, and I think it's because like when you gotta think it was like depths of winter, and then people are telling these stories to. I don't know. I just love it. I love the atmosphere. I love it all. Krampus, Gryla, Yule Cat, all that stuff. Those are my favorite folklore stories. Yep, yep. So gaming's a huge part of things that you do. So what and how did gaming become a part of your life?
What kind of gaming are you talking about?
Of any kind. So
Talking about card games?
any kind. Where did you start gaming? When did you start gaming?
Video games is a different story. That was NES way back in the day.
He's a
Way back
huge
in the day.
video gamer.
NES probably, Super Mario, that's the beginning of that. But then like Magic the Gathering was huge. And, got into that because a friend named John turned me on to it and showed me how to play it, taught me how to play it, and we actually bought a bunch of card lots off of eBay and was building decks, and that's how he was teaching me how to play, and that just kind of drew me into Magic the Gathering, and that's like really was really a big one for a long time, kind of still is, but I don't, it's kind of hard to play sometimes, but
Yeah, you can't play by yourself, and I'm busy all the time.
yeah,
I mean, not all the time, but listen, we'll get to magic later. But we have our differences when it comes to
yeah.
magic.
Somebody's a sore loser.
Somebody likes to play cheap decks.
Somebody just have to play good decks. There's a difference.
Cheap. Okay. Well, I guess that answers the next question too. So, like, so when you guys got started, I mean, how long ago was that? That was how long ago? Well, that was before you and I got together, so that was at least over 16 years ago.
Probably 20 years ago, probably.
That's crazy to think about. All right, so what do you have a favorite style of Magic since that's like basically your favorite tabletop game?
Yeah. Uh, the last thing I was really into was Popper because it was cheap and easy and fun,
Yeah.
and it didn't cost $1,000 to play. And there's, you can build a deck on like 10, 15, $20 and still play and have fun.
There's so many different styles now to that.
Yeah, too many almost.
Yep. All right, your turn. Ask me a question.
Okay. How your practice has changed over the year? How's it changed?
Oh God. So do you remember when you and I first got together and you was like, no, it was the aliens.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, no, listen to this. It was the pagan gods. And we had that big old discussion. So I guess that's been a big change. Now I'm like, okay, it was the aliens.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the pagan gods are aliens.
Yeah, she was always like, "What are you talking about? Hey, you're crazy." Down now, she's like, "It was the alien."
Yeah, that whole ancient aliens guy. It was the aliens, that's me. All the
Yeah.
time.
But before, when we first got together, he was like, "What?
No.
What are you talking about?"
You couldn't tell me anything was different. I was very stuck in my ways and I was very like Celtic, Irish, pagan, like it didn't I didn't stray much from that. And I guess since, I guess even just 16 years ago since we've been together, um, it's, you know, it's changed because I mean I'm more open to things now. I've also studied a lot more than like these last 16-ish years and taken way too many classes, way too many certifications, and just broadened my horizon, I guess. And I've kind of just turned everything into what I do into magic now.
Yeah. Now she's a Celtic Irish alien,
With some other things sprinkled in there.
a Celtic Irish alien witch.
There you go. So I guess just broadening my horizons.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, it's me now, huh? All right, so something about you is music is really like a big part of who you are too. So where did that begin, I guess?
I began uh, when I was really young. My mom used to listen to like Kiss and Autograph and Twisted Sister in the Car, Bryan Adams. All those people were like really huge, and I was young, really, really young. And so that just kind of stayed. I still listen to some of that stuff, and then as I got older, it was Metallica and Pantera, AC/DC, and then Slayer and all the heavy stuff, and that's just kind of been. It's always rock and metal, guitar oriented, guitar, drums, and bass, vocals. That's
So it's fair to say it's always been a part of your life, music.
for yes, for the most part, yeah.
So when did you know you wanted to like try to play music?
He used to listen to my dad, and he'd go in his bedroom and drink beer, and he had an acoustic, which I still have, and he would just sit in there and play, and I would just watch him. And then my friends that lived down the road from us, Jimmy and Joe, their dad also played guitar, so I would watch him. So between watching both of them two, it was like, oh man, I really want to try that. And then my dad taught me a few chords, and he taught me how to hold a pick, and Jimmy and Joe's dad taught me how to strum a little bit, and it just took off from there.
So then you ended up having I guess minor music career ish.
Yeah, I guess so. It was
So
always, but I would figure out how to play. Like when they got me this guitar for Christmas one year, the Series 10 Flying V, and I didn't know shit about any of it. And I just slowly started figuring out, and then I started figuring out how to play like, AC/DC and like Kiss and stuff like that. And then I just kind of grew from there, and then I just started writing my own stuff eventually and got into bands and all that.
and now you still dabble.
I still play and tinker around a little bit, yes.
All right. Your turn.
And what's something you're currently studying at this moment?
I'm not really actively studying anything. Well, I mean, I guess I've been reading more so of a refresher of like the Irish stories and that kind of thing. I'm here recently because I have a I don't want to say we, not as in Rodney and me, but me as in the other girls. We have a small coven, me and some friends of ours. Um, and we do like a study group once a month. And because of that study group, it's made me like go back and refresh some stuff that I don't keep up with as much as I probably should. And because they're always asking questions, because most of them are new, which is I love answering the questions and I love teaching. So
Yeah,
it helps.
you're like a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, I mean I've studied for years. I like and right now it's just been kind of refreshing. Just refreshing some of the stuff gotten rusty on. And right now, um, I've actually been doing with the Irish stories, the Irish mythology. That's kind of what I've been going back and forth with right now. I love mythology. I love reading all that. It's all connected in some way or another, and one of these days I'll sit down and put the big puzzle together.
Supposedly it's all the same story.
And there's a lot of crossover, you know? I mean, I don't doubt it at all. Now, if you'd asked me that 16 years ago, I'd have been like, you are wrong. The aliens had nothing to do with it. Now,
Now they're everywhere.
now, those stories might actually be about aliens. I'm gonna get eaten alive to the wrong people here this podcast. All right. Uh, so how did books become, like you're saying, how like with the bookstore?
I don't know, just when we first got together, I think we had, talked about
Yeah, we talked about
opening
that
about
last time a little bit.
booking or opening a bookstore and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And it just you walk into our house and you look at the living room and you might as well be in a fucking bookstore because there's a million books in here.
Mhm. Yeah, there is.
So I just kind of was thinking one day and was like, well, why don't we just open the bookstore alongside what we're doing?
But you also like stories. Like,
Well, yeah,
is it like, do you find joy, I guess, in helping know that you put a story into somebody's hand?
oh yeah, it's funny when people come in and they get excited over certain series or books like that. Oh, they got it.
Yeah.
Or
I
they
like doing
or
that
they
for
come
sure.
in and they have like the whole series in their hand. And they flop it down in front of the desk. And
I've been looking for this forever. And there's good things and bad things, I guess, about the bookstore too, because you are basically competing with Amazon. And you can't like compete with those
no, nobody
prices.
can. I don't think anybody expects you to. A lot of the people that come in there,
That's what I was about to say. A lot of the people who come in there are coming in to support like a small bookstore.
yeah, they're coming in there to take it home with them right now.
Yeah, they're wanting that instant gratification. But your books are still cheaper than like, retail
Books at
places. Like,
Barnes and Noble, yeah.
yeah, all those
I
big
always
places.
get complimented on our prices versus like Barnes and Nobles and Books a Billion and stuff like that. And
We try to keep it so that it's fair, you know? I don't want to pay full price for a book, and we can't give it at Amazon price, but
no, Amazon doesn't really make any money on their books. They're just
well,
there.
they can buy them by like the masses. They have the money to do that.
They buy them by the masses, and then plus they don't really make any profit on them. Just so they can have say they have these sales numbers that
That's true.
they
Yeah.
bump their sales numbers. They pad their numbers pretty much with that.
Yeah. I mean, that's
They
true.
make enough money off the other stuff that they can use the book sales to pad their numbers. This is how I see it.
I mean, yep. I mean, you're probably not wrong there. So the bookstore has become like your, I guess, seventh child.
Yeah, it it does okay. It's fine. I enjoy going there and
We're trying to get some new stuff in there. That's the hardest thing, I think, with the bookstore is trying to keep up with.
inventories. Oh
Yeah,
God,
and I mean, there's just so much. What do you phase out? What do you phase out, and at what point do you phase it out? Because obviously, we are a tiny bookstore. We can't have everything in there.
no.
Our shop only holds so much. But I mean, at what point do you phase out and bring out new, like get the new stuff? And we do actually have a bunch of new stuff here coming in the next couple of
You
weeks.
start getting the new stuff in now and start keeping some
Yeah,
of
I
the
agree. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So, all right.
Okay. Okay. How did this turn into the Knotted Ravens?
Like with my witchy stuff.
Yes.
So,
In general.
I just kind of like I started crafting, I guess. I would make stuff for my practice and then I found out I enjoyed doing that and then, it's just kind of snowballed from there basically. I love creating magical things and putting them in people's hands. That's why I asked you, like, do you get joy from like finding people, like watching people light up when they find a book they
Oh
like?
yeah, it's funny. Some of the reactions.
Yeah, I mean, I get that same thing at the shop at my side. So when we say the shop, there's two sides of the shop. There's the
Oh yeah,
bookstore.
see, and they're there and they turn into a little child for about
Yeah, I
2 seconds.
absolutely love it. Like I've been looking for something like this forever, or I've never seen anything like this. And almost everything that you find in on my side of the shop is made by me. So literally you are taking a piece of my magic home. The signs, all my bone art, all my spell oils, like literally almost everything in
Oh
there.
yeah, see, you should see our kitchen most days. It's a wreck.
It's a wreck right now because I'm working on two new projects. Which
All
by the time this podcast comes out, they'll be in the shop. But I'm working on
by the time this podcast comes out, there'll be two more new projects.
probably because it has been happening that way. I went through a big time period though when I didn't want to make anything.
Well, that's
It's summer. I get too hot. I don't like summer. Winter, fall is when I create, and I'm starting to get that itch for fall. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess just turning what I actually do anyways into something that somebody else can, you know, take home and enjoy and have a piece for their magic. So it's crazy thinking about how our different interests and how we've made everything work.
yeah, because we're like two different way. You're way up here and I'm way down here.
Or vice versa. I'm like way to the left and you're, way over there on the right. Like, but we make it work somehow.
Opposites attract.
I also think it is just supporting each other, like passion, giving the other person space to become the person they are meant to be.
Yeah, I've never told you you can't do that.
No, absolutely not. Now, have you joked around and gave me shit about it?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
oh yeah. Yep.
That if you wasn't doing that, that wouldn't be you.
Nope. Gotta
Like
give
the
you.
belladonna.
Yeah, that's mild.
Yeah, so I mean, I've never really given you shit about playing games. And nor going to play music. There's been many a times you was gone, weekly at band practice. Did it get annoying every once in a while? Yes, but especially when the kids were younger. But I never really gave you shit for it.
No.
I always wanted to hear it, and I've been married to you for 16 years, and I can probably count on one time how many times I've actually heard on one hand how many times I've heard a completed song.
You heard my acoustic album I put out a long time ago.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. I'm talking about when we've been together.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I probably can count on one hand how many times I've heard a completed song, and then all those band practices, all those nights of at band practice, and I can count on one hand.
It
I
happens that way.
mean, you have somebody else you're making music with right now,
Whenever we get time.
but that's when I do my witchy stuff. We've kind of organized it that way. It kind of works out though.
Yeah, it's whenever we get time to tinker around and just the two of us coming up with stuff and tinkering.
I still want to hear something.
Well, I don't have anything on me.
Well, I know that, but make it happen. Chop chop. I'm just kidding. Oh, goodness. Something that I never thought I'd like, but you kind of changed my mind on it was Magic the Gathering. Because I can remember being like a junior and senior in high school and all the nerdy kids. Now I'm one of those nerdy kids, would be sitting at lunch playing, and I'm like, that's just not my thing. I was too cool for that. But now, and then me and you got together, and you was super into Magic at that point when we first got together. That was at the height of you and John's Magic thing.
That was a height of all the cards I have.
Exactly. But that was, I never thought I would get into that. And I actually do enjoy it. Now, do I enjoy losing to cheap decks? No,
You don't enjoy losing, period.
that's true. But
Mrs. Sore Loser over here.
you know what? Whatever. But I never thought I'd actually enjoy that. Is there anything that I've taught you with the witchy stuff that you didn't think you would either enjoy or never thought you would look at it that way?
Probably the learning about the what the tinctures and stuff do. Like I never figured,
The herbal stuff?
yeah, I never figured I'd I see plants, I don't give a shit about whatever. Then you're over there like, oh, this does this, that. I'm like, really? It does? I'm gonna try it.
Which I need to make use of a couple of new tinctures.
Just that I think that just mostly the herbal part of it
Not the energy stuff.
and sound bath somewhat. I never really figured I'd enjoy playing like the sound bowls or whatever, but I kind of whenever I do it, it's okay, you know.
Also, speaking of that, I've had people been asking for sound baths, so maybe when it cools off and we can all lay on yoga mats outside,
Tja,
you can play some sound baths.
the bowls.
Yeah, it'd be fun. So working together is definitely a struggle sometimes, though.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I like work. I love when we're together, but when I'm working, I just need you to stay the hell out of my way because I have a system.
Oh yeah. Yep, it doesn't matter if she's working, it doesn't matter who you are, you're in the way.
So many people ask me, "Hey, like, I can come over and help this week. Do you need help
Oh,
with anything?" I'm like,
oh.
I love you guys all dearly, but if you come over and help me, that may end our friendship.
Yeah, because you're not doing it right if she's not doing it. That's how that works.
Though, like this business, I hope, becomes too big for me to control it like that, though. Like,
Yeah, but then you're gonna have to give up some of that.
that's true, and I've had that conversation with a couple people that at that point, you're gonna have to,
You're gonna have to get over that
yeah.
I have to do everything.
But that kind of goes back to, though, this business is so much of my own practice. Like, we got a cat at the door. Um, there's so much of my own practice in that, though. You know what I'm saying? And the stuff I make, and she's like, "Let me in." You don't have to let her in; she'll just meow. But there's so much of my own practice in it, and it's hard to let go of that a little bit,
That's part of
especially with like the witchy stuff.
well, that's part of teaching because maybe they'll take something up from that away from that and make it their own.
I mean, yeah, but that same thing, it's my business, it's my livelihood. Like that's how I get paid. You go still go to a 9 to 5 with yours. This is my 9 to 7, 10 o'clock. Depends what time I stop that day, you know?
Mhm.
So I guess it's hard for me to let go. But far as working with you, the shop's great when we're at the shop usually until you're like, hey, where's this go? Hey, I need this. And I'm over here running like a chicken without a head. And
You're supposed to have it together, man.
yeah,
Come
I'm
on.
supposed to do everything, man. I know.
Chop chop.
But like as far as being home, like when you're home, like last Friday, when you was off actually the muggle job,
Yeah.
you he body doubled me, which was great. He
I
just
tried to
stood
help.
around and like watched until I said, hey, do this. But because he was there, I wasn't bored. And
Uh,
I know that sounds weird, but
well, I know that like I'm going to be there when you need help. You'll let me know
yeah.
because if I try to help you, I'm like, pow.
Yeah. And then that starts, not that we don't fight like when it comes to things. It's usually something stupid, and it's usually because I'm in a mood.
Or I say something the wrong way, and
Yes.
because sometimes I don't come off the way I should, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
I don't have very good what do you call that?
What do you call that?
Coming off the right way skills. Let's just say that.
With skills. He doesn't think before he speaks
Just comes
sometimes.
out.
Yes. Yes, yes, it does. But creating a business that kind of reflects both of us has been a goal for a while, anyways. I mean, I tried to get you to do something with music with the shop, and you just, You're not see, even though you're a life path 9, you're not a big teacher.
No, hell no. I mean, I could teach somebody like the basics of music and be fine with it, but I can't sit there and like walk them through and hold their hand.
See, where I can. When it comes to the magic stuff, I, I love a good practicing, skilled person. That way we can have different conversations. But helping newbies gives me so much joy.
Like whenever
It's weird.
I was in a band and we did some covers, but not very many. It was always like, Rodney, go home and learn the song. And
Hmm.
then I'd have to go home and figure it out and then go home and then go back and teach them how to play it. And then that's about as far as I got with, okay, well, this is how you play it. You either play it or you don't. I didn't. Mm.
Either you know it or you don't.
I'm like,
Here's the chords.
yeah, this is the
Figure it
pattern.
out.
This is the pattern. This is the way it's drummed. These are the chords. Go.
See, I like teaching, but my thing is I don't like being paid to teach, as weird as that is.
I
I
think my teaching skills is black because of the way I learned myself.
mhm.
I taught myself,
I get that.
and it came fairly naturally after I figured out the patterns, because
Yep.
that's all music is patterns. It's just patterns.
I mean, that's kind of the same way I am with crochet. There's no way I could teach somebody to crochet. Absolutely not. And everybody who teaches somebody to crochet, props to you because there's no way I could do it. I don't have the patience for it.
I can show you the chords,
I can show you the
make
thing.
sure you got them. But
Yep.
after that, you're on your own.
Yep, that's
Because I had
me.
taught you chords.
Yeah, but I can't strum.
Yeah,
So,
you can't strum it. You couldn't strum to save your life.
no, I could not.
But other than that, I'll teach you the chords, and then that's it. You got to go by yourself.
So
Right.
our paths have looked very different, but somehow we make it work.
I don't think we make it work. It just works.
Yeah, I mean, you can't make something, I guess, work, I guess. So it's just, you know, what it is. All right. So our discussion question for you guys is, oh crap, I lost it. Did I just lose it? Probably. Oh, did you know that you was going to be on the path you were on? Like, have you always known?
Me?
No, to our audience. I sure as hell didn't. Not, well, in a way, I kind of did.
I don't think anybody really knows. They just kind of fall into it, and that's the path. That's where they're supposed to fall.
I think you always have hobbies though, and if you follow the things that really like light you up and the things that like bring you joy, you'll never, it's true what they say. You do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And for me, I mean, I work my ass off, but to me, it's not work. I like doing it. It's
Wish I could
just,
say that about my normal job.
I
Gee.
know. One day, maybe everybody will keep listening to our podcast and it'll just blow up someday and you'll just be able to stay here and read books and play music, run a bookstore full time,
Hmm.
6 days a week or so, 5 days a week, whatever, instead of just on the weekends. All right. Anything else you want to add? Hmm. No. All right. Well, I guess that ends it for tonight. So,
Thanks for hanging out with us around the table.
yeah. So if you've enjoyed this conversation, we'd love if you followed our podcast, maybe leave us a review or share with somebody who loves magic, books, and gaming. There's more conversations to come in the weeks to come. We're just getting started.
Yeah, there's probably going to be some good rabbit holes,
Yeah.
knowing you and me.
I think next week we're talking about or the next podcast, not next week for them, but our next podcast is basically the stories that shaped us. So we're talking, I think, all books next time, which will be cool. Yeah, it'll be fun. So until next time.
You can find us at the Knotted Ravens for our shops, bookstores, guided meditations, and all the other things we consistently dream up.
Yep. So keep asking questions, keep chasing curiosity, and we'll see you after dark.